Welcome to Flat Ride of the Week, Episode 6. Today we'll be having a casual discussion about various non-inverting spinning pendulum rides. If you want to learn about inverting spinning pendulum rides, check out Flat Ride of the Week, Episode 7, linked in the description, as we're covering both inverting and non-inverting spinning pendulum rides this week. As always, keep in mind that information on flat rides is a lot harder to come by than information on roller coasters. So if we forget anything or say something that's incorrect, please politely correct us in the comment section below. Let's get started. Let's get started with the history of the Huss frisbee.
So the frisbee was brought on the market by Huss with their frisbee ride debuting in 1994 with Robrun, the German showman. It traveled on the German fair circuit until it was sold to Mellors from the UK. Then it went to Global Village in Dubai, and then it ended up at Fantasy Island in the UK. But now it's sadly gone. We don't know yet where it's going. So that's the prototype frisbee from Huss. The model got very popular on the European fairs, but also on theme parks all around the world. This model is available as both transportable and permanent version. This ride has a round gondola where the riders face the arm. The arm can swing up to 90 degrees and uses a drive tire under the gondola to power it up to the maximum angle. The capacity is 40 people per ride, and this ride is sadly not in production anymore.
And you can find a lot of these at Six Flags parks. Six Flags really like to add them in the late 90s, early 2000s. Most of them have been removed, but there are still a few in the chain, such as the one at Six Flags Great America. And then later in 2003, Huss introduced the Giant Frisbee with Delirium at Kings Island. The Giant Frisbee is also a round gondola, but with 50 outside-facing seats. It hits a maximum angle of 120 degrees and a height of 42 meters or 138 feet. Ride is still being built mainly in Asia. The only two ones in the U.S. are Delirium at Kings Island, as we mentioned, and Max Air at Cedar Point, both in Ohio for some reason.
So now moving on to the competition. In the late 90s, companies, for example, SBF Visa and Fabry, were making copies of the Huss Frisbee. They're not easy to separate from the Huss ones because they look very similar. But the main difference is that the Huss ones are powered by tires on the bottom of the gondola, and most of the copies are powered on the top of the arm in the middle. In 1998. KMG introduced the Afterburner. It's safe to say this model kind of killed the Huss Frisbee. It's some kind of more modern version of the Huss Frisbee. It was taller, it was easier to transport, and it could swing up to a higher angle than the Huss Frisbee. The Afterburner is 22 meters or 72 feet tall, can swing up to an angle of 120 degrees, and it fits 24 people in 6 floorless gondolas facing to the inside. This model is very popular and is still being sold all around the world. It's available as park and transportable version.
In 2001, the Afterburner 32 debuted at Thrope Park as Vortex. The Afterburner 32 is only available as a park version. This ride got built once by KMG, and then it got built multiple times by Chance Rides in the US under the model name the Revolution 32. Chance Rides also built the Revolution 20, which is basically an Afterburner 24, but with one gondola less. It was essentially licensed to Chance Rides by KMG.
In 2002, KMG introduced the Freakout, which is basically a smaller version of the Afterburner. This ride fits on only one trailer, while the Afterburner needs 2 trailers for transport. The Freakout is 21 meters or 68 feet tall and fits 16 people in 4 floorless gondolas. This ride swings from forwards to backwards, unlike the Afterburner, which swings from the left to the right. This ride is only available as transportable model, but some parks have bought them, and they're just on trailers without tires. And then in 2005, KMG introduced the XXL. It is 40 meters or 130 feet tall. It has 4 inside-facing gondolas, each fitting 5 people, making a capacity of 20 people per ride. This ride fits on 3 trailers and doesn't need any crane to set up, which is impressive because it's a very tall ride. It's available as a transportable version and a park version. The park version has 2 gondolas facing to the inside and 2 gondolas that face to the outside. Only 2 park versions have been built, one in the US and one in Canada. And as competition, a lot of manufacturers made similar rides to the Afterburner 24 from KMG, such as Fabry, Zamperla, Technical Park, etc. And a lot of Czech manufacturers make copies of the Freakout, which are very popular here in Europe. Also, Mondial made some kind of competition to the XXL, named the Mistral, but only 2 of them were built. One with inside-facing seat called Power Max, it travels in France, and one with outside-facing seats, it was called Artistico, it traveled in Germany, but now it's unfortunately sold to Mellors, which now travels with it on the Saudi Arabian Fair Circuit, actually. Then in 2002, Mondial introduced the Revolution, which is a frisbee made for parks. It has one round gondola with 40 outside-facing seats. The ride can reach up to 35 meters or 115 feet at an angle of 120 degrees. This model is still in production.
As competition to the Huss Frisbee and Mondale Revolution, a lot of manufacturers also started to make big pendulum rides for parks. Probably the most popular example would be Zamperla. They made the Discovery in lots of different variations, as you'll soon hear. There is the MIDI Discovery, M-I-D-I Discovery, which is 15.5 meters or 51 feet. It fits 16 riders per cycle, and it comes in both a transportable and permanent model. Then you have the normal Discovery, which is between 20 meters or 65 feet and 26 meters or 85 feet. It fits 30 riders per cycle and is only permanent. Then we have the Giant Discovery, which is quite popular with Six Flags, along with the one we're going to talk about in a second, which is 44 meters or 144 feet. It fits 40 riders per cycle. An example of this would be Black Widow at Kennywood. And then we have the Giga Discovery, which is not actually a Giga, at 52 meters or 172 feet. It fits 40 riders per cycle. An example of this would be the one at Six Flags Magic Mountain and Wonder Woman at Six Flags Great Adventure, which, speaking of which, the world's tallest non-inverting pendulum ride is one of these Zamperla Giga Discoveries. They both reach up to 52.5 meters or 172 feet. I believe Six Flags marketed Wonder Woman Golden Lasso, or Wonder Woman Lasso of Truth, at Six Flags Great Adventure, and Crazanity at Six Flags Magic Mountain, both as the tallest in the world.
Then, as other fact, Huss made a one-of-a-kind Frisbee 34 at Tonto Fantasia in South Korea. The only differences between this one and the normal Huss Frisbee is that the Frisbee 34 has outside-facing seats and it fits 34 riders per cycle instead of 40 on the normal one. And also, KMG Freakouts and Afterburner 24s can actually be fitted with lap bars instead of over-the-shoulder restraints. The only ones that have this are the Afterburner It at Maurice Pierce and a Freakout from Australian showman B&B Amusement.
So in 2017, there was a famous accident on one of the KMG Afterburners at the Ohio State Fair, where one of the arms of the gondola actually detached mid-cycle. That will be covered in a What Really Happened in the Future. But the models affected were all KMG Freakouts, Afterburners, Move It 24s, and the unique Move It 32. They were all issued, I would guess you'd call it a warning by KMG, telling them that what needed to be changed after the accident itself. I don't know all the details yet. I haven't fully researched it, but it is a What Really Happened coming up. But yeah, that was one of the affected models. All right. Do you have anything else to add for this week?
Nope.
All right. Well, thanks for watching this episode of Flat Ride of the Week. Again, if you want to see the episode on the inverting spinning pendulum rides, just click on the link in the description. It is out the same day as this one. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.